This is Unit 4 of our Biblical 1 course. And in this unit, we are going to learn installing and typing Greek. We're going to learn how to install and type Greek. Now, what is the objective of this unit? It is to equip you with the ability to install and type Biblical Greek accurately on your device, enabling you to engage directly with the Greek New Testament, make effective use of digital study tools, and reinforce your learning through active written practice. Now, what do we mean by this? As you type Biblical Greek, you engage deeper with the language. You have deeper fellowship with the language. You have deeper communion with the language. You have deeper intimacy, and then emphasizing engagement with the language, fellowship with the language, communion with the language, and intimacy with the language. To this point, we've learned a number of things. We've learned the Greek alphabet, the letters, how they are written in small letter, how they are written in capital letters, how they're written in minuscule, majuscule, how they're written in lowercase, uppercase. We've learned the unique letters, those that are quite different from our English alphabet and those that are quite similar. We've learned also diacritical marks. We've learned punctuation marks, how to write a period and a comma, how to write a semicolon. In Greek, that's a period above line. How to write a question mark. In Greek, that is, we use our English semicolon. We've learned the breathing marks, the smooth breathing mark, the rough breathing mark, the iota subscript, where the iota and iota goes underneath a long vowel that it follows. And we've seen how that is written. We've learned the diaresis, which suggests that a diphthong, which should ordinarily be pronounced as a single letter, the letters that make that diphthong would be pronounced as separate letters. And the two dots above a vowel will indicate that. We have also seen accents, three major accents: the acute accent, which is similar to our forward slash, the grave accent, which is similar to our backward slash, and then the circumflex, which is similar to our symbol of approximation. And so looking at combining these concepts that we have learned, we should be able to read. In fact, before we get into the typing, let us do practice by reading one scripture. That is Revelations chapter 1, verse 8. And I'll just read the first part, Revelations chapter 1, verse 8. Okay, so I have it decided in Greek, and then here is English. Let us first read the English, the first part. I am the Alpha and the Omega. Let us look at the Greek. Again, this particular breathing mark, this is smooth. We said smooth breathing marks, similar to our English apostrophe. So this is a smooth breathing mark. What is the smooth breathing mark? Has no effect when I'm pronouncing that letter. And then this is an accent mark. This is a forward slash. The forward slash is an accent mark, which just means we're going to stress that vowel while pronouncing. Historically, accent marks were used for pitching, but now stressing is acceptable. So this is ego, 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 okay? Which is the Greek word for I, the Greek word for I. And then the next word, you have the epsilon, and then you have the iota. The iota has a smooth breathing mark. So this means that no effect when I'm pronouncing this letter. But take note that this is a diphthong. Remember, we said diphthongs are those two vowels of which the last vowel is either an iota or upsilon. So this is a diphthong, which means we pronounce it as a single letter. And then this is mu, which is our M. And then this is iota, which is our E. So this is emi, emi. So ego, emi, to. Okay, this is the, the, You can see it's here and it's here. In the English, you have the two theys, the alpha and the omega. So this is the Greek word is tau and omicron. Okay, so tau. And then the next one, which is yellow, you have the alpha. Alpha has two marks. There is a smooth breathing mark, no effect on the letter. And then you have an accent, which is the acute accent. The acute accent is similar to our forward slash, okay? So ordinarily under pitching here, the voice would go up, kind of like alpha, alpha. But now because of our time today, now we just stress, okay? So I just say alpha, alpha. Now, this is a phi, which is our pH or F, and then this is alpha. So this is alpha. Okay, we have already seen this word. This is one of the words that now you should know here in Greek is ka, ka. Remember, this is a diphthong. Diphthongs are two vowels of which the last vowel is either an iota or upsilon. So, and when you're pronouncing them, we pronounce them as a single letter. So this is, so you don't say kayi. You don't say kayi, but you just say ka, ka. So yes, the iota pronunciation is in there, but it is embedded in the alpha. So this is ka. Okay, to, and then here you have omega. So remember, above this omicron and above also this omicron, there's an accent mark, and that is a grave accent mark, okay? That's a grave accent mark, which is similar to our backward slash. When you come to this omega, you have two marks. You have the smooth breathing mark, and then you have the circumflex. The circumflex is an accent mark, which is just for emphasis. It was historically used for pitching, the voice going up and down, up and down. So I would kind of say omega. Oh, I would say omega. So the voice would go up and down, but today we don't emphasize the pitch complexity, so we just stress the word. So let us read it together. So this is ego, emi, to, alpha, ka, to, omega. I am the alpha and the omega. And what we are emphasizing is that when we look at the alphabet and the letters and the various marks, these enable us to read, okay? But the goal of this session is to go beyond the reading so that we start typing, okay? And after this session, we are going to do a short exercise where we are going to type together that particular phrase, okay? Ego emi, ego emi to alpha ka to omega. So we are able to read it, but we're going to type it now. The typing of, for instance, this particular verse, the typing it in Greek enhances your reading, okay? Enhances your engagement, enhances your communion with the text. Now, before you type, you have to first install. Before you type, you have to first install. So how do you install Greek language on your device? I will open up my browser. Install in Greek language in your device. When you open up your browser, you can type in Greek Unicode keyboard input. Okay, again, Greek Unicode keyboard input. So when you type it in like this, various options to give various options, whether it is Windows 10. So if you're using Windows 10, that's what you'll select. Greek Polytonic keyboard, Windows 11. If you're using that, that's what you'll select. Greek Polytonic keyboard layout, Greek Polytonic keyboard, Windows 10. Then it has also Greek Polytonic keyboard Mac, the operating system for Apple. So if I click enter, it will search, and then it will give me various options. When you scroll down, it will give you, okay, let's leave this, scroll down, it will give you, so this is one of the sites. It has Concordia Theological Seminary, can get Greek Unicode keyboard Windows 10, okay? Let me try to click this. I right click and I open in a new tab for illustration. So when I click, so it will give me the steps. Okay, it will give me the steps of how I can install Greek using, if I'm using the Windows 10 operating system. But if I'm not using that, if we are using Apple then uses the MacOS Mac operating system, and so this is what you'll click. Then when you open it up, this is what it will give you: Greek Unicode keyboard input Mac. Okay, and then there are other videos down how to install Greek polytonic. You can watch a few, and then typing help. And because I'm using Windows 11, and so for me, I'm going to select the option of Windows 11. Okay, so I come here, I select Greek Unicode. I can just put in Windows 11. So when I enter, it will again get me various options, and then it will take me to, yes, Concordia Theological Seminary. So I would recommend to you, you can use this particular guidance here. There are several, but you can use this. Very easy to follow through. So when you click it, it will open the steps through which you can install the Greek Unicode keyboard input if you're using Windows like I am using. But if you're using Apple, for you need to use this one, which is aligned with the Mac operating system. And if you're using Windows 10, then you'll have to use this particular one, okay? But since I'm using Windows 11, so for me, I'm going to open up this and I'm going to illustrate how we install Greek keyboard in the Greek language in our devices, okay? So I will open up here my PDF that I've downloaded. So I have downloaded this PDF, okay? And then it emphasizes learning to input Greek Unicode is a text. To input Greek Unicode text is a valuable skill for everyone, not just seminarians. And using the Unicode is faster and more efficient than selecting characters from character maps. And that's is often more reliable than copying and pasting. Okay, before you learn how to type Greek, the best you can do when you access Greek New Testament, you can just copy it and paste it if you want to use it anywhere, whether in your work or if you want to use it in a presentation, you can just copy and paste. But that's not efficient. You should be able to type exactly what you want, either to communicate or to present. Okay, that's where the typing is critical. And once you do that, your papers will always print correctly and the characters will display properly on any computer. So what's the process? You go to, we need to first enable the Greek keyboard. Okay, so you go to Windows menu, you click open settings, something like this. In the settings app, you go to time and language, which is this. Then under time and language, you click language and region, this particular one. Then afterwards, you continue the process. Under the language section, look for preferred languages and then add a language. So you click this, then you continue in the windows that appear. You can scroll through the list until you find a Greek, okay? Try to read this word. This is Hellenica, which is a Greek, okay? And click to select it, or simply type Greek. So you could just type Greek here using your English keyboard, and then these two options that come, you will click the one which has Greek. Please don't click the one which has Cyprus, except if that's your intention. But for biblical Greek, you click this upper one. And so on the language screen, click the three dots next to Greek and select language options. Select language options. So this is what we mean. Click on three dots, then you select language options. Now you scroll down on the keyboards and add a keyboard. So this particular one, add a keyboard. You scroll to the bottom of the list and then you select Greek polytonic, okay? So this will add Greek polytonic to the list of available Greek keyboards. Now, then we continue. We'll continue. There's a qualifier here. Finally, remove the default Greek keyboard by selecting the three dots to the right, and then click remove. Okay. What does that help you? That helps because doing this will make things less confusing when working with biblical Greek, since you will not be able to select the wrong Greek keyboard. So come here and then remove this particular one. You select these three dots and then you click remove. So this one will be removed so that you only remain with Greek polytonic. You only remain with Greek polytonic, which will enable you to type the biblical Greek, and then after that you will close the settings app. Okay, so now after doing that, for you to type a Greek, you are going to now you have installed the Greek language. Now you're you'll need to learn how to switch between input languages. You need to learn how to switch between input languages. Okay, and so the guidance is that as soon as multiple input languages have been enabled, a new tool will appear docked on the right-hand side of the taskbar. This is the language bar, which indicates the currently selected language. Okay. Again, for emphasis, note that when English is selected, the letters E and G are displayed and the keyboard will function normally. Okay. Just look at this. Now just follow through my cursor. Just follow through my cursor. When you get to this particular section where I'm circling, you see ENG. Okay, so this ENG simply means that the English language is selected. So when I press my keyboard, I'm getting English characters. Okay, so if I'm in Word, okay, all right, if I'm in Word, first remove these. If I'm in Word and this is English, I type A, simply get that. B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. So as long as this is ENG, so it means when I type, I'm getting English characters, the English alphabet. Let me type the same, but in capital letters. So I press caps lock. I have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. So that's English. So we are saying that for you to type when you install different languages, so as long as ENG appears somewhere here, so when you type that is, you get English. And then when another language is selected, this indicator will change accordingly. When Greek is selected, the letters, okay, the letters epsilon and lambda. Remember, the epsilon, when it is uppercase, it is E, and then the lambda, which is ordinary like that, when it is uppercase, it is like a triangle without a base. So when you have this and this here, okay, that shows you the epsilon and the lambda. So when you select Greek, okay, that will appear. Those will appear. So let me select Greek. So come here where there is English, I click it. Okay. When I click it, you'll say I have English. Here I have Greek, and specifically Greek polytonic. I also have Hebrew because that was already installed. But just look at the Greek, Greek polytonic. So when I click it, what was ENG changes to epsilon and lambda. Okay. Now, once that happens, when I type, I'm not going to get English. I'm going to get Greek. Okay. So I get to my Word document where I'm using to type, and I start writing again. So I'm going to do the same thing that I've done for the English, but now I'm using the Greek input. Okay. I've selected Greek polytonic. So when I press A, not uppercase, let me start with this lowercase. When I press S, I get alpha. B, I get beta. Okay. So you can see A and B have given me a beta. When I press C, it gives me epsilon. D, delta. E, epsilon. F, phi. G, gamma. H, eta. I, iota. J, xi. K, kappa. L, lambda. M, mu. N, nu. O, omicron. P, p. Q, nothing immediately happens. So I go to R. I press R. Then because I pressed Q and then I press R, a certain semicolon comes, which is a question. But I will remove that and I just press R. Okay. We shall see what happens with the Q. When I press S, I get a sigma. When I press T, I get a ta. When I press U, I get theta. When I press V, I get omega. When I press W, I get the final form of sigma. When I press X, I get the key. When I press Y, I get the epsilon. When I press Z, I get the zeta. Okay, so you can see as long as this is a Greek polytonic that is selected, when I press the same keys, I no longer get now English characters. I now get Greek characters. So let me do the same when I do caps lock, so that I get the capitalized form of the Greek. Okay, so I've pressed caps lock. Now I'm pressing the same letters. So that is capital alpha, capital beta, then press C. It gives me a capital psi, then I press D capital, so it gives me a delta, but which is like a triangle. Okay, then I press E, I press F. You can see F gives me a phi, our phi. I press gamma, so you see it gives me the uppercase of gamma. So you don't have to struggle, okay, getting symbols. You get a vertical line, get a horizontal line, then try to create the letter. No, this one you're just typing because you have installed the language. When I press H, I get the capital form of eta, and I press I, iota. When I press J, I get the capital form of C. When I press K, I get the capital form of kappa. When I press L, I get the capital form of lambda. When I press M, I get the capital form of mu, N, O, P. So you see the uppercase of the pi. Okay, R. I'm skipping Q because nothing happens. Then when I press this S, you see it gives me the uppercase of sigma. When I press T, it gives me the uppercase of tau. When I press U, it gives me the uppercase of theta. When I press V, it gives me the uppercase of omega. When I press W, nothing changes because W just gives us the final form of sigma. If I want to get the uppercase of sigma, I have to press S, but uppercase. And then when I press X, it gives me the uppercase of key. When I press Y, it gives me the uppercase of epsilon. And when I press Z, it gives me the uppercase of zeta. So you can see that already here, we are able to type Greek. So if I want to write any word, okay, remember, we saw the word alpha. So we saw the word alpha. We read Revelations chapter 1, verse 8. So before you learn Greek, the best you can do is come to these words. Let me say, copy them. That's how you could do it. Then if you want to write those, you come to your Microsoft Word, and then I come here, I paste them into, let me paste them here, okay? Let me paste them somewhere here. I paste, okay? Just a minute, I paste. Okay, so before you learn how to type Greek, the best you can do is copy and paste, but this is not efficient. This is not efficient. So what I've done here is copying and I've copied and pasted. I've copied and pasted Revelations chapter 1, verse 8, part A. But what we want now you to do is to be able to type it, not to just copy and paste. Okay. For now, I'm going to first ignore the marks because we're going to learn those ones shortly. Let me just write, since now you already know the characters, let me just now type it. So I need to start with the epsilon, which is capital E. Okay. Remember, if this is English and you press E, you not get the epsilon. When you press G, you not get the gamma. When you press V, you not get the omega. So this is English. But if you want to type Greek, again, we have said, first go to this ENG, select it, then click Greek polytonic. So when you click that, so you start with E, capital, I remove caps lock, I press my G, so I get gamma, I press my V, I get omega, press my space. Okay, I want to write epsilon, which is my E, then I press my I to get my iota, press my M to get my mu, and then press my I to get iota, then space, then press my T to get the tau, press my O to get the omicron, then space. I want right now alpha, you start with your alpha is the first one, then L for lambda, and then you press F for you to get the phi, F, and then alpha, again press space, again you write K, which is kappa, alpha, iota. So kappa is K-A-I, okay? Then space, then you press T and O to get the tau and omicron, then a space, then you press V to get omega. So you see, we're going to learn shortly how to put the various marks. But you see, before even getting confused with the marks, or before, you need to first know how to write the letters, okay? And this is critical, but as long as you change the input, okay, whether it is English, so when you press Greek Polytonic, after installing it, now you should be able to write. You should be able to write, okay? So you can see now as I write, as you write, beyond copying and pasting, robs you of the fellowship with the language. Copying and pasting robs you of the communion with the language. Copying and pasting robs you of the intimacy with the language. But when you type, you are drawn closer to the language. You are drawn closer in intimacy with the language. You are drawn closer into fellowship with the language. And that enhances, it becomes a part of you, part and parcel of you, so that it's not just a foreign text or an ancient language that we're just learning for any other reason, but this is the language that God used to preserve the New Testament. And so learning to type it really enhances your engagement with the language, okay? And so if I'm making a presentation, if I'm, whether it's PowerPoint or it's Word and I'm writing something, I will write exactly what I want to write without necessarily just copying and pasting, okay? Without copying and pasting. And so, so what we've done so far is we have seen that the same keys for English are the ones that I am using to type Greek, okay? Whether it's lowercase or uppercase, I do the same thing, but I must have changed the input language. I must have changed the input language, okay? I must have changed. If I type Greek, I have selected this. If I go back to English, then I select this. If I want to select Hebrew, then I will select this. And then when I type, I will be getting Hebrew. Okay, so we go back to the guidance. Go back to the guidance. So we have seen that switching languages, and there is also a shortcut. Apart from clicking here, okay, you can also, there's a shortcut to switching languages. Switching input languages can be achieved in 2 ways. And what are those 2 ways? You can press the Windows key plus space. When you press the Windows key plus space, this keyboard shortcut will pop up a small window displaying the currently selected language. Let me do that on my device. I press the Windows key, okay, and space. So you see, when you select the Windows key and space, it pops up, okay? When you select the Windows key, again, I come here, Windows key and space. So you can see, it comes up and it shows the selected language, okay? Now, and then, but the one that is most efficient is this one, okay? When you press Alt and Shift, remember these principles apply for Windows 11. They apply for Windows 11, the rules here. So if you're using Windows 10, follow the same guidance, and we saw how to download the one for Windows 10. If you're using Apple and you're having a Mac operating system, follow the same guidance, okay? So there could be some differences in terms of the shortcuts, in terms of the keys. But for those who are using Windows 11, the Alt and the Shift is very efficient. So when I press Alt and Shift, currently, when you look down here, my English is selected. But when I press Alt and Shift, just look what's going to happen. You see, Alt. Okay, let me get, sorry, come here, Alt and Shift. So it changes to Greek. Then I press Alt and Shift, it changes to Hebrew. I press Alt and Shift, it changes to Alt and Shift, it changes to English. I press Alt and Shift, it changes to Greek. So you see, you can also use shortcuts, okay? So you can just run over that. So we have briefly done something on typing. We have briefly done something on typing in Greek, and I've illustrated that. And this particular part, I've tried to put for you the you have the Greek keyboard. So this is available in this PDF when you download it, okay? But the red, I've inserted the red, these red letters, I have inserted them to show you the Greek characters behind the English letters when you change to Greek polytonic. So you can see when you press the W key, when you press it, you'll get a sigma. But also there's another letter you can get when you press the W key, and that is the iota and the diathesis with an accent. So for this case, I will have to press Shift, and then I press this key, and then I press iota. Okay, I'll have to press a Shift, I press the W key, and then I press iota. So now this is very critical. And let me illustrate that. Okay, let me illustrate that. Get to my word, where we're using to learn. So I come, I want to write, I press, so I change to English. I'll use this method so that you see when I'm changing the input language. So I'm saying press Shift and W key together, then release them and press I. Okay, so press Shift and W key together, then release them and press I. So for me to do that, again, I'll first change the language to Greek polytonic. If I do it, for example, in English, I'll just say Shift W key, it will give me capital W. Okay, so, but when you change it to Greek polytonic and I click Greek polytonic, I say Shift W, nothing happens. But the moment I press iota, it's going to come with the diathesis and the accent mark. Okay, but yet if I just press the key of I, it will just give me the iota without the diathesis and without the accent mark. Okay, again, how do we do this? When you get this PDF, it is instructional. It's instructional. So just know for every key that you see there, the black is the Greek, and where you have two black characters, it means that key can give you two items in Greek. It can give you one item when you just press it, okay? But also when you shift and press it and you press a vowel, it could also give you another item. So you can see for a W, if I just press W without shift pressing it, if I just press W and I'm in Greek, I'll get if I just press W, and since I already have Greek Pythonic, when I press W, it will just give me a final form of sigma. Okay, but if I press Shift W and iota, it gives me the iota with the diathesis and accent. Hope that's clear. Now, the next one that we need to look at is the key for Q. Look at the key for Q. The key for Q is here. This is the key for Q. So it has an accent mark, which is the acute / and then it has the iota with a diathesis. It has the iota with a diathesis. Let me start with, let us see what happens. Let us get to the word. So we are going to do that, okay? I'm dealing with the Q key. So just follow through. This is a very practical session. When I press Q, okay, when I just press Q and I press alpha or A, it gives me the alpha with the accent. I'll repeat that. When I press Q, nothing happens, but I've already pressed it. But if I press epsilon after I've pressed Q, it will give me the epsilon with the accent, which is the acute accent. You get the point. But now at the same time, this Q key has another character. Okay, it has another character. So the first character that we have seen is the this particular one. Okay, so when you just press that key, the Q key, and you press a vowel, it will insert that particular mark on the vowel. Okay, but now this same key can be used to this same key can be used to, oops, let me get this, remove this, come to this. I want to wrap this. Yes. So this same key can be used to write the iota with a diathesis. Okay, the iota with the diathesis. So what is going to happen? It means if I want to use that same key, I'm going to press Shift, the Q key, then I release them, then I'll press I. Okay, we go back to our word. We go back to our word. So here I'm saying, I first change the language to English so to get the rule. I'm going to press Shift plus Shift and the Q key, okay, together, then release them, then press I. Okay, just make it quite smaller to fit on the page as what you follow. Okay, so here I'm going to press Shift and the Q key together. Then afterwards I release them, then I press I. So I come Shift Q Okay. Why has that Q come? Because I've not changed the Greek polytonic. So remember, you have to change to Greek polytonic. That's very important. So I press Shift Q, nothing happens. Remember, when you press Shift Q in English, it will happen just like we've seen. But when I change to polytonic, Shift Q, I press it, nothing has happened. But when I press I, so you see, it's going to give me the iota with a diathesis. Now you don't have to cram. Don't have to cram again. This just takes, you just have to do practice. You just have to do more practice. Again, this this is what this layout, this is why this layout is very helpful. Okay, this is why this layout is very helpful. So it shows that on the Q key you can get these two characters. On the W key you can get these characters like you've seen. On the E key you get the epsilon lowercase or epsilon uppercase. Okay, on the R key you get the rho lowercase or the rho uppercase. The rho uppercase is like a P. So you see, oh, this is normal. But when you come to the Y, again, take note, when the Y is what gives you the epsilon. It is not the key of U. Where's the key of U? The key of U, which is next here, gives you a theta. So that should not confuse you, okay? Usually when people have just started, this confuses them. They want to press the key of U to get epsilon. No. When you install this Polytonic keyboard, it's the key of Y that gives you the epsilon, and the key of U gives you the theta. Okay, gives you the theta. So this one is it's you to do more practice, engage with the keyboard. The more you do it, the more it becomes easy. Okay, it becomes easy. If you can also, there are some keyboards, I'm aware there are some keyboards which have the English characters, they also have the Greek characters, they also have the Hebrew characters, they also have the Latin characters, but that could be not possible for all of us to have them. But at least once you know the underlying characters behind, then you should be able to use them. So now I want to now draw a focus on the other marks. Okay, I want to focus on the other marks. Look at this key. Look at your equals key, this key. Okay, now on the English keyboard, the equals just has a plus. But when you are in Greek polytonic, okay, this equals key can help you to write a vowel with both the circumflex. This is a circumflex. This is a rough breathing mark. This is a circumflex, and this is a smooth breathing mark. So this same key can give you these two different marks on a vowel. But what's the difference? For one mark, you just press that key, then press the vowel. Okay. But then the other one, you shift, press that key, then press the vowel. Okay. Let us practice that and we see. Let us practice that and we see how it comes out. I got my word. I got my word. So here, what's the principle that you have to do? Press. So you see when I am pressing, my keys bring Greek because I've not changed the input. Okay. And I want to write English. So I come here, change to English. So I say press equals, press equals, release it, then press a key. Remember, yes, press a key. So I come here, I change to Greek polytonic. When I put to Greek polytonic, I press my equals, nothing happens. But when I press A, you see, it gives me the A with a smooth breathing mark and circumflex. Okay. If I want the other character, then I will press, first change to English. So that is what I'm writing. So I will press Shift and the equal button together, then release them, then press a key. So I want to write the other character. Remember, we have said that when you look at a button and it has more than one Greek character, especially these marks, just press that button, then you press the vowel. It will give you one character. But for you to write the other character on the same button, you have to press Shift, that button, release them, then you press the vowel, which possesses that character. So I get back to Word. So here I put my keyboard to Greek, polytonic. So I say Shift equals button. Okay, when I release them, nothing happens. Okay, then I press A. So you can see that these two are coming from the same keyboard, but they are different. They are different. Okay, they're coming from the same button, but they are different. So you can see that this guidance that we downloaded from Concordia Theological Seminary, this particular PDF, okay, is very helpful, especially as you're learning how to type. So the same principle goes on, okay? So if I want to write, for instance, I want to write now this. I want to write alpha and the iota subscript. Okay, alpha and the iota subscript. So you see this particular button, which has this square, this particular square bracket. So you see that button on your keyboard. When you press that button and you press alpha, something will happen. So, and when you want the other character, you'll have to press Shift, that same button, and then the alpha. Let us just do that and we see. Let us just do that and we see. I get to my word. So I'm saying here, I'm going to press. So I first change to English so that we write, I'll have to press. Oops, this is English. Yes. So here I press this bracket. Okay. Release it. Then press a key. Come here, change to Greek polytonic. Come here. So I press that bracket, release it. I press A. So you see, it gives me the alpha and the circumflex. It gives me the alpha and the circumflex. Now, I want to write alpha and the iota subscript. So what am I going to do? Remember, it's the same button I use. So here, I'll first change to English so to get the rule. Here, I press Shift and this button and this bracket button together. Okay, together, then release, then press the A key, then press the A key. So I will reduce the font here so it fits on one page so that you see it. So I say, again, I first change. If I don't change and I leave it in English, when I press Shift and this, it will just give me the curl brackets, okay, if I release them. But when I change to Greek polytonic, it's going to Shift and that, nothing will happen. When I press the A, it will give me the alpha and the iota subscript. So you see, it gives me the alpha and the iota subscript. And if I want to write eta and the iota subscript, I just do the same. Shift that bracket, then I press H. So it has given me eta and iota subscript. If I want to write omega and iota subscript, still I'll press Shift the bracket, nothing happens, and I press V. Then it gives me the omega and the iota subscript. So you get the principle. You get the principle. And it is through this that we engage more with the text. We engage more with the language. And so you need to take off time to appreciate this particular guidance from Concordia Theological Seminary, okay? You need to take off time to appreciate this guidance because it helps you to type, okay? And everything else, the same principle applies if you want to write, for example, these are breathing marks. So I just want to write rough breathing marks. So you get the key that is before the enter key. This key that's before the enter key, when you press it and then you press the vowel, it will give you a breathing mark. When you press shift and that key, it will give you the other breathing mark. And so the principle just happens. The same thing with this button before one, the same thing with this button before shift, the same thing with all these buttons, which have all these marks. That's how we use them, okay? That's how we use them. All these buttons, we use them the same way. So you just have to know which mark comes out of which button based on my operating system. And when you press that button and the corresponding vowel, you'll be able to get that mark. Hallelujah. So now we want to make sure that we go back to our scripture that we read, Revelations chapter 1, verse 8. Okay, we have ego, Amy, to, alpha, chi, to, omega. So again, what is not advisable? Simply coming and copying, that's not advisable. We need to learn how to type, and that's what we want to do as we close this particular session. Okay, that's what we want to do. So I come, for purposes of illustration, I'm going to put it here. Let me paste, okay, not really, paste, yes. So now, let us try to write it, okay? So let us try to write it. Remember, you need to make sure that here you have selected Greek polytonic. So I want to do it concurrently so that you are able. Let me get a way of putting both of these on the same page, both of these documents on the same page so that we follow together. So I will make this one first, reduce this, remove this, remove this. Okay, I minimize this. So I want to make sure that we are having, we are seeing the keyboard as we are typing so that it is not confusing for you. So that it is not confusing. Okay. So this is the keyboard, make it longer here. Then I put here also, I minimize this. Okay. So let us try to type now. I'm typing in the upper. Okay, I'll make it wider. So I want us to type it together. So just look. So the first symbol, the first mark I want is the smooth breathing mark next to the epsilon. So I come here. How do I get smooth breathing mark? I look at my layout here, smooth breathing mark. My smooth breathing mark, I'll have to look at this particular key. This is the key where I have to get the smooth breathing mark. So I come here. When I press that particular key, remember this must be Greek polytonic. When I press that particular key, okay, next to enter, and I press E, so you see it comes out. Okay, just press that E, and then if this E is not, if the caps lock is not on, and you press that E, and then just that key, and then you press E, you are going to get the smooth breathing mark above the epsilon, which is the lowercase. But remember, we want to write the uppercase. So when you press that key, you have your caps lock and E, so it comes. So the next one is the gamma. That one I just press G. And then the next one is the omega with the acute accent. So where's the acute accent? Acute accent is in a number of places, but one of them is the One of them is the Q key. So you see this Q key, it has the acute accent. So when I come here, I press the Q key and then, oops, and then I press the Q key, then I press the V, which gives me the omega. Then I press space, I press E to get epsilon. Now remember, I need to write, the next one is the iota with a smooth breathing mark. Remember, smooth breathing mark is on this key before enter. Okay, so I press that key before enter. When I press it and then I press I get the smooth breathing mark. And then I press M to get my mu, I get my iota. I put space, I press my T to get the tau. Then I need to write Omicron with a grave mark. So I need to look, where is the grave mark? Where's the grave mark? Again, look on the keyboard. Okay, the grave mark is here. Okay, on this key which has the right square bracket. Okay, so when I press that key, and I press that key and I press my Omicron, it gives me the Omicron with the grave mark. Okay, again, repeat that. I press that key, which is the right square bracket, nothing happens, but when I press my Omicron, it's going to give me that mark. I continue. So you can see, if I'm having this, if I'm reading my Greek New Testament, whether online or physical, and I want to write what so I need to have installed Greek, and now I need to know how to engage the keyboard to start typing it. So the next one, I want to write alpha with a smooth breathing mark and accent. So I need to look at which key has a smooth breathing mark and accent. Just look here on the keyboard below. I remove that. It is this key before shift. This key before shift, okay? When I press that key before shift, it has the smooth breathing mark and the acute accent. So when I press it, the key before shift, which has the / and the question mark on our keyboard. So when I press it and I press alpha, it gives me the alpha with the smooth breathing mark and the acute accent. Then I press L for lambda, then I press F for phi, then I press A for alpha, then I put space, then I press K for kappa, A for alpha, then I need to write an iota with a grave accent. Where's the grave accent again? The grave accent is on this key of the right square bracket, on the key of the right square bracket. So I come here, right square bracket, I press my I to get that. And then I put space, I press my T, and then I press that same key. When I press that same key, and then the Omicron gives me the Omicron with that. And then now I need to write omega. I need to look for a key which has I need to write omega. I need to look for a key which has the smooth breathing mark and a circumflex. Which key is that? Just look at the key before back space. Okay, so I come here where I'm typing. I press the key before backspace, which is my equals key on our English keyboard. When I press that key and then I press V, it gives me the omega, and it gives me the omega with a smooth breathing mark and a circumflex. And so you see, with this particular exercise, you have been able to not only read Revelations 1:8, but now you are also able to type the scripture, ego eimi to alpha chi to omega. I am the alpha and the omega. And so you can see that with this particular unit and the exercise that we have done, okay, so all these other sessions become living, and then by mastering the skill of typing the biblical Greek, you move beyond passive recognition to active interaction with the biblical text. This ability ensures precision in study, strengthens memory of vocabulary and grammar, and prepares you to participate fully in academic, church, and personal contexts where where the original language of the New Testament is central. Thank you very much for enduring this lesson. You need to do more practice. You need to listen more. You need to watch more. Do more practice. As you do more practice, as you engage, now you are able to type Greek, not only to copy characters, not only to copy and paste, but you are able to type yourself and have more intimacy, fellowship, and relationship with the language as we go on. Thank you very much. Now may the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ be with you all. Amen. Amen. Thank you.